Welcome to the Activity Call Live, and now our host, Andy Albright.
Hey, good to see y'all. Jake, seemed like I remember talking to you last night.
Yeah, I had some FOMO. I was over there working out, and I guess y'all were working out too. You guys looked like you had a blast.
We was having a good time.
A little jealous.
Good time. And I'm sure what I told you was very important and critical for this meeting today. So be sure to share that. Okay. All right. John, how's Florida down there? Are you in Florida today?
I'm in Florida today, yes.
Hey, John, you're kind of new to this crowd as far as everybody else more or less knows each other. They know who each other are as far as on the show. And I guarantee there's brand new people watching that don't know anybody. But John is kind of the newest to the team and is producing and making some money with us. John, will you give us a kind of a 40,000 feet view who you are and how you fit into the program?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a person that relentlessly persists without exception, and failure is not an option. And anything that I start, I finish. So my word for this year was finisher. From Ohio originally, moved to Florida about 20 years ago, and never looked back. And looked at the Alliance about a year ago. It made a lot of sense. I liked the connection, the family part of it, and you guys have never disappointed. So I love being a part of this team and family.
Do you have a family, John?
I have a wife of 7 years, and we have a cat, so no family yet.
What's the proper thing? Do you say what kind of cat it is? Huh?
It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm thinking, but I want to be polite. Does the cat have a name?
Reggie is the cat's name, yeah.
Okay, Reggie. Now we know. And now I know what to say.
I have to plug it for the wife. You know how that goes.
You have, what's that? What'd you say, John?
I have to plug the cat for the wife. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I do, kind of. We got dogs. Okay. Dogs are they're all inconvenient. But, so John, I understand you do some kind of health sales or have some kind of job in the health industry or something like that.
Exactly. I have a business in preventive medicine where I train healthcare providers on how they can make money keeping their patients healthy instead of disease management.
I hear it's the opposite. I hear you make a lot more money when they're sick.
This is true. They want to get them in the system as young as possible because they
I'm just chatting with my friend RFK or something. I don't know his name. I don't know what his initials are, but that's something he was saying. I don't know what he was saying. So you show them how to make money on the healthy side. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's your own business.
Correct.
So that's like you what do you call you eat what you kill. If you don't sell anything, you don't make any money, right? Do you find it a conflict doing this and doing that? Is it how's that working for you?
Well, it can be challenging. You just have to be a good management of time. We all get the same 24 hours, so just really tight on the time management.
Does your wife have a career job?
She's a chemist, yes.
Mixing old chemical things. Does she have somebody pay her to mix those chemical things?
Yes, she is an employee.
Does she make things or make things better? The BASF. There's a chemistry company.
She works for a a biologics company. They make biologics for, it's a manufacturer, so she makes drugs, so she does their quality control.
Does she have like a high-level chemical engineering degree or something like that?
She just has a bachelor's of science.
All right. Well, good. Do you have any questions for me? Because it seems like I'm the one asking all the questions.
Well, what's the best advice you could give to somebody like me?
Well, I don't know a lot about you yet, John. But best advice that I would give any person. What was that I heard? Oh, this is just a recent thing I heard, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was a kid, one of those kids asking rich people what best advice you could give, and he said, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. Nobody, but some people do it anyway. And I was like, I hate to admit it, but I'm one of those people. And, I love the people that are so arrogant, they act like they know everything. I do love those people, I think, because they're attempting, they're liars, but they're attempting to be, like all confident and everything. So I think that's some good advice of somebody like you, John, is you don't have to know what the hell you're doing, but you do need to do it anyway. I'll also comment that when I got my insurance license, health-wise, by the way, I had PRP done Wednesday. Are you familiar with that? What do you call it? Platelet reduction, PRP. It's where they take a ton of your blood out and they spin it and basically concentrate it down where it's pure platelets, right? And then the platelets is the healing segment, and then they reinsert, or they put needles and put the platelets in your body where it needs healing. Mine needed it in my lower back, and so they put 18 shots down in there. That was interesting to me, the new technology they have. And they can do it with stem cells, but they said that that's not near, they have a whole lot better results with the PRP thing, Now, I'm wondering if they don't know what the hell they're doing, but they did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of occurred to me, and what made me think about that is when I was, getting 18, they were shooting for 18 vials of blood out of me. Of course, I'm trying to recruit the guy, from Argentina, and he was like, so why'd you get an insurance? I said, I was looking for a way to get rich. He said, that work out? I said, hell yeah. But, what I was going to say, John, what made me think about that is when I got my insurance license, I didn't get into insurance. Like people always ask me, like, it's so interesting what you do. I'm like, what does your life consist of that you think insurance is interesting? I didn't go like, hey, this is interesting. I was like, can I get stupid rich? And my cousin was like, you can make like $100 and some $1,000. A dum-dum could make $100 and some $1,000. And I was thinking, if a dum-dum could make $100,000, if I could get 100 dum-dums making $100,000, I could get 10% of 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mathematician. So when I got my insurance license, John, I don't remember all the businesses I was doing. I would probably have to get Alex Fitzgerald, because me and him were doing things together. I had an Amway business, so I was selling a bunch of soap and vitamins and stuff like that. And we'd also do opportunity meetings that I made money doing the opportunity meetings. It's kind of an interesting deal. I had a coupon book business. The county I live in is called Alamance County. So I built a coupon book called A Taste of Alamance. And it was, you could buy the coupon book for $20 and save like $1,500 eating out. We were selling flowers, which was interesting, like roses, and we were started doing like a computer repair business. So we had all these stupid things going on. We had a radio. We even got a radio show, me and Fitz did. And what I started doing, John, is looking at the amount of time each one committed and the amount of dollars that came back. And I started eliminating the ones that did not produce as much income. And I did not base my money making program on what I like program. Does that make sense? In other words, what I like program had to do with usually spending money, not making money. And a lot of people, to me, confuse the two. They try to get something they like or they don't mind as opposed to something that just prints money. And then like when I'm having fun, it's just a different program, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense, John? Like what I just tried to narrow down. Now, the interesting thing, and this would kind of move to Jake and Veray and Aaron, is let's say now you put all your time into what works for making money. Well, now here's the problem. Even inside of that, some things don't make you money as much as other things do in the money-making process. Like, for example, working on what they call pending. Once you send in applications and you have to call up the insurance company and explain to them that, I don't know, what's something you explain to the insurance company that seems like you shouldn't have to explain? What's a pending problem that you have, Emily? Catch this. Let's say again.
Draft dates, banking information.
Draft date, pending information, because they don't draft it on the right day, and you try to explain to them that it's a different day. And now some people look at it like this. They say, well, if you don't do that, you don't get paid. I agree. But if you wrote another deal for $500 a month during the same time you're trying to get that draft date, you might not make this $500, but you might make $6,000. You see what I'm saying? So it's during that same amount of time, how much money could you make? And then it comes to, could you pay somebody $100 to get you that $500? You know, people go like, I wouldn't pay $100 just to get $500. Well, would you do it yourself? Because you just paid $6,000 to get $500, because you could have been making $6,000 while you made that $500. So if you pay a person $100, you're really paying the $100 to get $6,000 plus your $500. Does that make sense? So you start doing the math on how do I make more money for my time that I've got put in. Okay? All right. So, John, have you been trying to make money with us for a year?
Not quite a year, beginning of this year.
Okay. Have you ever read First Things First by Stephen Covey?
Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
I'd have to check. If I have, I need to read it again.
It should make a bigger impression on you if you had read it. I think Jake and Bray, y'all have read that book, right? Is that the one that has the quadrants on it? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, Noel's big on that one. Yep.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Noelle is big on that book. She's a huge fan of that book.
The Leventovich, Noelle.
Yeah, Noelle and Mike. Yeah, Leventovich.
What's another stupid thing you work on with pending? Not that y'all work on, but your staff works on with pending. Y'all are familiar.
I would say just getting little corrections done, like a signature. You know, maybe it was a signature that needs to be fixed, or they need to update a beneficiary. You know, they want to change the bank account, things like that.
Bubble wasn't filled in, something stupid.
I have flashbacks to the first time I called the insurance company about pending information. And it was back when you had I don't know if we have them in here, but you had a thing you picked up and you talked on it, and it had a cord connected to the thing. You lay it on top. I see them in hotel rooms a lot nowadays, but I don't see them anywhere else. And I had that thing, and I was talking to them, and I just started beating the other thing, the thing that sits there, and I was just beating it until this thing broke in half. And I thought to myself, you probably should not be the pending person in your office because your temper is not good. And so I was like, I quit doing pending. I gave up. I got somebody else to do it because I was so. Do y'all ever been that mad talking to the insurance company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just we just tell them we need someone different. We're not talking to them anymore.
So here's a big mistake that people make though. They say, I hate talking to the insurance company and I hate talking to new people about booking appointments or trying to recruit them because these people are morons that you talk to, or they lie to you, or they cuss you out and they talk bad to you. These people, on the other hand, are stupid nice. I mean, stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're nice, but they're stupid. They say things like they're talking English, but it might as well be Arabic or Thai or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you saying? You want to. But they tie this not like, and what they'll do is they'll pay somebody to do this, and they'll keep doing this because these people are nice to them. Going like, this one, talking to new people or recruiting, makes you crazy money. This one is a defined amount of money that just don't make sense to me. And so people get confused and they pay. They do this themselves, but they won't talk to new people from booking appointments or recruiting. And I think their evaluation of their decision-making process is flawed. And I know it's jacked up. So, yeah. So, John, that's. I think you're the kind of guy that would freak out on First Things First by Stephen Covey, and working in those quadrants. There's quadrant one. They have urgent. Like when I text somebody, sometimes I say this is important but not urgent. When I say urgent and important, that means right now. And then if it's not important whatsoever, why would I be texting them? Unless I'm putting a smiley face, unless it's humor or something. Why would you even do it, right? But the hardest one is what's not urgent but super important, which will be reading that book, for example. In other words, if you don't read that book, nothing's going to happen. But if you do read the book over the next month, it'll change your whole entire life. So it's super important, but not urgent. Now, but if you could convince yourself that it's urgent, that would be different. Like I just read, just a little bit of a book just now, just a little bit, to trying to get my mind going in the right direction. Not important, not urgent, but it was important that I do it. So I knocked it out. Aaron Dunleavy, how about same thing? Give us, for people that don't know you, tell us how you fit in, what kind of job you had, and how you're progressing with the Alliance.
So, hey, Bo, I appreciate you for having me on, first and foremost. So for me, I came into the Alliance about a little over a year and a half ago. I was recruited by Patrick Waddell. He had called me off of a job posting that I filled out in 2019. So this was the very end of 2022 when he reached out to me. So I don't remember filling that thing out. I'm glad y'all called, I'll tell you that. But I honestly don't remember filling it out. And I was just at a point where I was trying to get out of my property management job and get into something else. And my friends, when I talk about what I'm doing, I'm like, look, I was going to jump off the cliff no matter what. Y'all were just the water at the bottom that caught me, so I didn't hit the rocks at the bottom. So for me, it was just a perfect fit at a perfect time. Penn State graduate, Lions by 50, diehard Penn State fan, just like you are with State. And I'm fired up to see what this thing can really evolve into, going into national boot camp, going into our NatCon next year, and just kind of rolling with the bunches.
What did you major in at Penn State?
broadcast journalism. So I'm doing a lot with that right now.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like a Tar Heel degree.
Yeah, I know.
Who do y'all have? Do y'all have a game this Saturday?
Yeah. Morgantown's actually about an hour and 10 from here, so I'm heading out tomorrow morning to go down there.
Okay.
To play West Virginia. West Virginia.
Okay. So have you read that book?
I have not.
Have you heard about it before?
I have heard about it, and I got it written down here, yeah.
What are you reading now? What's kind of you studying? What are you working through?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I do a lot of listening to audio while I'm driving around, too. I listen to a lot of Grant Cardone. He calls him Uncle G, but he gets me fired up and try to get my mind right throughout the day. But as far as reading, it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad right now by Robert Kiyosaki.
What you said as far as reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah.
All right, so it's important, Aaron, that you get in 15 to 20 minutes of reading. I don't care if you're 13 hours of audio, you got to get 15 to 20 minutes of paper.
Okay.
I could spend a few hours explaining that, but you just got to do it. John, are you reading anything currently?
Yes.
What?
High Road Leadership by John Maxwell.
Maxwell's a good guy. What did you call it? High Road to Leadership?
High Road Leadership by John Maxwell. There's high road, there's medium, and there's low.
Is that a new book? New one of his books?
That's a fairly new book by him.
Jake and Bray, what are y'all reading?
I'm reading The Way of the Wolf, Jordan Belfort, thanks to Clay. He brought some of those out.
Does he talk about straight line selling in that?
Yeah, he's talking about straight line selling. And
we've been handing that to some of our young guys, and stuff's a churning, stuff's a happening.
It's what?
Stuff's happening. It's churning. Their minds are going. They're figuring stuff out.
I could only get halfway through it. I was like, I got it. Have you noticed that? Like he tells it, and then he tells it, and he tells like, I got it. I don't need to hear it a seventh or eighth time.
I think I'm like page 80. No, I'm like maybe like 100 pages in. So
I couldn't get that.
We were talking about the boom boom stick. We were very confused as to whether exactly what he was referring to. But I Googled it, and I might order a couple. I don't know. Boom boom or something.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm reading The Magic of Compound Recruiting. The
Hubert Humphrey.
Yeah. I'm almost done with that.
Okay, so what we advertise is how to get a person started fast. Okay, so y'all are recruiting. I know Jake and Bray are out recruiting your other two guys. But John, are you trying to recruit? And Aaron, are you trying to recruit a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So in recruiting, it's either them, who you're recruiting is a problem, or it's you're the problem. Okay? Or you're the genius, or they're the genius, one of the two. So most of the time, I mean, it can go either way with people that are recruiting. Like you could be the dum-dum. I'm saying whoever I'm talking to, the audience, it could be you could be the dum-dum, or it could be the people you're talking to is the dum-dum. I don't mean to offend anybody. Y'all don't have to quit on that, but I had people just walk out. They're like, I'm done. Starts calling people dumb. So to what? Oh, they're up. They're up in a minute. We got a Medicare thing going on here. Medicare relax. So for a lot of people, if you feel like you're the dum-dum, get some coaching. But a lot of times it's just the people you're talking to are lazy or dumb or hard-headed, and it's not your fault. So you shouldn't get mad. But you should always try to get better. so that you don't get mad at yourself, but try to get better. So what you're doing is you've got to have so many opportunities out there. So you've got 20 different people that you're working with, and then one of them starts selling a little bit, then you got to pour the gas on it. So like John, you would be one of those guys for us. When I asked my team, I was like, hey, of all the new people that we're bringing on direct to the company, who's kind of starting to act like they've got some sense? And they're like, well, you know that John guy down there. Are you in Clearwater, John?
No, I'm in West Palm Beach, Delray, on the East Coast.
Okay, all right. So what we got to do now is so once a person kind of sticks their head up and starts doing a little something, now's a chance to pour the gas on and try to get them going. So it's not like you can take a stick in the mud, or you can take a little bobblehead and make it start selling quickly. But if you've got 20 or 30 people you're working with, and then one of them just starts selling, now you can pour the gas on. So really, it's much about you not being frustrated about the wrong thing. Like, you shouldn't get frustrated about that person not selling. Now, if you've got 30-some people and nobody's selling, and they've got their license, it might be you. It could be you that's the problem. But so one of the best things to me is it's truth, is people skills. So just being nice to people and encouraging them. So my goal, John, with you, and really with all three of you squares up there, is Jake and Bray and Aaron and you, is to get you 10 times better quickly. Now, so your job, John and Aaron, is to be like a blank canvas, like a veil. A guy used to coach me. He'd say, avail yourself to the system, or make yourself available. And when somebody tells you something, do that, because this is a cookie cutter, easy to make a lot of money business if you do what we say, but it's very, very difficult to make it work when you don't do what we say. Now, I like these arrogant people that say things like, well, who do you think you are? Do you know everything? Like, no, I got a safe, and I know the combination. I've went in this safe so many times. You turn it to the left around 2 or 3 times, and then you stop on this number, and then you go to the right 1.5 times. There's just a formula that works, and I know it works. But I see people do the thing wrong. The what do you call the combination? They do it wrong, and they get frustrated with it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. You shouldn't get mad. You're just doing the wrong combination. So I wrote a book a long time ago called The 8 Steps of Success. This is what it looks like, and it's just very simple, but I'll go through it with people, and I find out that they're not doing 1 out of 8. They're doing if they rank themselves. I say, how do you rank yourself on this combination? And they go like, oh, I need to get better. I go, well, that's your first problem. Is ranking does not equate to need to do better. Like, if you turn it to a 4, and I say, did you turn it to a 4? I need to do better. Did you turn it to a 4 or not? Well, I need to get closer to it. Why don't you just turn it to a 4? Like, I don't know, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you not just do that? And they go like, well, I want to do like Liberace or whoever his name is, and did it my way, or whatever his name is. Frank Sinatra. They want to be like Frank Sinatra and did it my way. Like, okay, So So then I got to figure out how to tell you, Aaron, John, Jake, and Vray what you're doing wrong without calling you a moron, because you don't like that. So I got to figure out how to people skill tell you in a way that you go like, oh, okay. Now, what I like about Jake and Vray is they've always been like, give it to me straight, and then we'll go do it. Now, what I'm trying to figure out, Jake and Vray, is how come y'all are not $1 million a month in premium yet in your hierarchy? You know what I mean? Y'all ever wonder that?
Yes, every day.
Because y'all are such hard workers and so smart and follow the system. Something's off, because they should be doing $1 million a month. What do you think it is?
I think for Jake and I, it's taking ownership of some things. And
what?
I think we need to train our people better. I think we need to do more, get more people. I mean, I think it's simple. We need to do more of what we're doing, and we need to do it harder and faster. And we need to be better at training.
So you think you need to take more ownership of your business?
Yeah.
I don't really. How do you mean?
I mean, I think for us, it's just, following Mike and Noel and Joseph and you and Jara, of course, and also just making sure that we're stepping in and leading when we need to, and not relying on other people to do that for us.
I've never heard anybody say that about y'all.
Oh, no. What do you think?
I think it is.
No,
she's asking me. More width and more depth. I mean, I just know it's the law of large numbers. It's the averages and a lot of them, and it's just easier to find good quality people when you have more of them. So,
what is your hierarchy? How much volume are y'all gonna do? How much did you do last month?
Last month we did one. Oh, look, the ARC.
I know so far
ARC
this month we're at 120,000.
About how much? 120,000.
119 last month. Today we're at 129.
So you're not even. So you're gonna do over 130 this month. How
Yes.
much do y'all sell? Like, what's your personal average production that y'all do?
Like 15,000. I know this month it's a little higher because a couple of those annuities are starting to pop through from the estate, but yeah, it's been like 15,000 in sales, but this month we're at like 21 so far.
So, John, you know how the way I do my math real quick is like, all right, if I hire them and they're 100,000 a month, I got a 5% spread. I'm making $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. All I need is about 10 groups like that. Give me 600,000. I know 60,000 a month wouldn't be terrible. I couldn't pay my bills, but a lot of people could pay their bills on 60,000 a month. You know what I mean? In overrides. At 700,000 in overrides, and if you did 15,000 in sales on say a 90% contract, that gives you another 100,000 a year, so 850,000. It's not crazy money, but in America today, it wouldn't be bad money. So that's so what if I'm you, Jake and Vray, is how do I get somebody that's doing 110,000 a month or 100,000 a month, and I get a 5-point spread, right? So who's your best people right now that you have a chance of getting them there?
Oh gosh, so I mean, our biggest group right now is Sarah and Pablo Seifert, right there, and then we've got up and coming. We've got the Caden Dunn group coming on hot, and they're
close to where you are, right?
Yeah, they're in Albuquerque. So it's, Caden, it's kind of like, we're basically calling them, they're like Bosch, D Wade, and LeBron. They're the trifecta from the Heat.
They're NBA players.
They like bad. That's what we're calling them. But we got Caden, who hired two direct, Bruno and Herman. And they've just absolutely started killing it. Just straight out of the gate, just coming around, coachable, teachable, hardworking. Caden's knocking on the door of AM for his first month this month.
Okay. So So like when I came in, Nicole's sitting right here. You can't see her, but she's a new recruiter on our team. And I was like, the people you're talking to, are they on this call? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, are you texting them and talking to them? So I don't think there's anybody I'm screaming at right now as much as I really should be. Like maybe Marcus Richardson might be one I'm screaming at. When I say screaming is I'm really demanding they grow. Okay? So this book, the 8 steps, is what I would be like if those kids, those young guys, the NBA guys, the ones you're likening to basketball players, if you could get them to get a 10, like go to the first step that they're supposed to be doing, one, personal use. Okay, so if you could get them at a 10 on personal use, that would be like a good first step. And then what you do is you go to step 2, which is work. Try to get them at a 10 on working. And you just kind of keep going through each one of these. Number 3 is listening. Like Aaron has got a 10 on listening to audios. Kinda. The amount is a 10. What he's listening to is not a 10, but the amount is a 10. So you know 4 is read. Like 15 minutes a day is a 10. 20 minutes a day is a 10. 30 minutes is a 10. I'm starting to think you're weird if you're reading much more than that, but congratulations, you're a weirdo. But less than 15 is like a 0, right? Maybe 14. Why would you read 14 minutes? I mean, it's 1 more minute. But if you're skipping days, that's terrible. Like, it's not like, that'd be like going all day and not going to the bathroom. That'd hurt. So not reading for a day would hurt. Like it should mess you up. All right. So if you got people to doing 10 out of 10 on 8 steps, they would skyrocket your business. So my question would be is which one, and I'm not going to ask you because I think it would be mean to do that on a show like this, but I'd go like, which ones are the ones you don't have a 10 on, Jake and Bray? Is I would try to get on those 10. I would try to get on the ones that you're not ranking yourself a 10. So if you got a new person and you want to get them going good, you got to get them on this. Like, so communication's the number one problem in my family, in my business, in my church, in my everything. Communication. So when you look at these 8 steps, and if you don't know if your people are on the call, for example, I would be texting them and I'll be like, hey Bob, I care about you. Are you on this call? And he's like, yeah, I'm listening. It's great. Or he makes up an excuse like, well, what happened was, my dad's been having some health issues, but I certainly understand that. But that's because you got 30 people. And you're looking for the person that goes like, I want to change my life. I want to get stupid rich. I want to travel the world. I want to win this trip to, what are we doing? Cabo San Lucas. I want to win this trip. Then I would be like, all right, well, if you want to win, let's go through these 8 steps. First of all, read the book. And then, you're like, did you read the book yet? No, I'm working on it. I'm like, have you looked at this book? Like the words are real big. It's mostly pictures. Like it shouldn't take you a week. If you were 15 minutes, if you do 15 minutes on this book, you're going to read like 2 chapters. It's only like 10 chapters. So if you 15 minutes a day, you're going to get through this thing in a week. We should test this and see how long it takes. But it's like, you got to find somebody that wants to do it. All right. So John, on the reading subject, I think it's step 5. I might be wrong. 3. No, step 4. On step 4 of reading, there's a lot of books in here that you need to read. Like Read and Grow Rich is one of the first ones. Read and Grow Rich. Not Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is a book, but Read and Grow Rich is a different book written by my friend Berkey Hedges. And then the next one is Think and Grow Rich. So it's Read and Grow Rich. So a lot of people have never read Read and Grow Rich when it's the first book that it mentions in here and they've not read it. And then, watch this, they're shocked when their people don't follow the system. And I'm going like, hey, Rudy. Somebody reminded me in my book, I call them Rudies. I'm not sure if that's politically correct either. But I go, hey, Rudy, you didn't read the first book, and then you're mad at your people. It's like you should take a knife and just jab it in your eye and be like, it hurts. Like, really? That hurt? You see what I'm saying, Nicole? It's not complicated. But when you break it down like that, some people get mad because you've made it simple and clear and in their face, and they don't want it to be like that. They want it to be vague and mystical and stuff. And I go, no, it's pretty damn simple. Second book's Think and Grow Rich. Hadn't read that one yet. How I Raised My Failure to Success Through Selling. Hadn't read that one yet. So basically, you're O for the first three. Like, I want to just take this book and hold it so that it's hard and just right on their head, real hard. You know, like get a stitch or two. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you. Don't look around. John, is this helping at all? Have I made an impact on you today?
You have. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just trying to help, not trying to hurt, not trying to offend anybody. Not trying to offend anyone. However, let's say I never offend anybody, but never anybody ever does a damn thing. Now what am I? Useless as boobies on a boar hog. There's no help. Nothing's going to come of it. They're just there. That'd be like me if I don't get anything done. But let's say I offend everybody and everybody quits at the same time. I'd be like, well, that was not good either. What happened to good Dunleavy?
Gone.
No.
You must have lost signal. Okay. So work would, that one is kind of interesting to go listen to audios. I don't think I put list of audios in there that people should listen to, but you should listen to people that can get you where you want to go. Okay, Jake and Parade, do you have a question?
Question.
You don't have to. You just say, no, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm just taking it in.
Just taking it in. Huh? What's your Bray?
No, I do not have a question right this second.
She does not have a question.
Okay. John, do you have a question?
I do not. Keep going. It's fire.
What? Dunleavy's back. What's up, Aaron?
I don't know where everybody went, but everybody disappeared. I felt lost. Sorry.
Black magic. All right. Attend all meetings. So we have that one coming up. Now, I was explaining this one to Jeff Bright. He didn't know this. You don't attend all meetings. You attend all meetings your upline invites you to. Like, for example, NBC National Boot Camp. Everybody's invited. Well, that should be it. But let's say the Medicare meeting going down there. Y'all ain't invited to that. You're invited to that. But you was invited here for a moment away from there. So you did that. Does that make sense? So, like, there's a meeting. Didn't your dad just did a meeting in Houston? Not everybody was invited to that, but everybody within 3 or 4 hours was invited to the Houston meeting. But there were people that didn't go to the Houston meeting. They were right there at the meeting. He flew all the way out there, and they didn't come to the meeting. It makes no sense to me. Attend all meetings. They're invited. He flew all the way to Houston, and then they didn't show up. Okay, you can't brag on those people and say they're doing everything they're supposed to do when in fact they didn't come to the meeting. Okay, true, thanks. All right, so being teachable. This is a big one right here. Being teachable. The same guy that said, avail yourself to system. Matter of fact, the more I think about it, Stu Baby is the guy that was coaching Stewart Up Church. He would tell us stuff, and he says, when people change, in other words, when they do what you tell them to do, they quit doing this and they start doing this, that shows you that they want to do it. When people don't change, that tells you that they don't want to do it. What people do is they look at them and they go like, I notice they're not doing what I told them to do. And so they explain it to them again like they're morons and idiots, when in fact, they just don't want to do it. So now you need to make your mind up. Are you going to get them to want to do it? Or are you going to be the idiot who keeps explaining the same thing over and over again to somebody that don't want to do it? They just don't want to do it. So maybe you should find somebody that wants to do it. And the way you know they want to do it is if they do it or don't. So I like to try to get people that don't want to do it and get them to want to do it. I do. It's entertaining to me. I'll be like, you don't want to do it? Well, I'm getting ready to talk trash to you and see if I can get you to do it. Does that make sense? Like and there's a balance between doing that and just talking to somebody brand new. So, John, I'm going to try to pour the gas on you and get you going like crazy if you want to. What does your wife think about this? Because I'm going to tell you something. What's very difficult? Let's say you talk to a guy and he's fired up, doing everything on board. And then that night, they're sitting on the couch and she says, I don't want you to do what he said. And you sit there and and I'm over here, doing whatever I'm doing. And she's over there and then sold him out to not doing what I'm doing. And I'm like, the next day, he's not doing it and I can't figure it out. But I figured it out. One day I was like, aha, somebody is flipping them. After I flip them, they flip them back. You with me? So is your wife, does she flip you back? Does she flip you forward? Does she believe in what I'm telling you, John? What's her status?
Yeah, well, she believes in me and my abilities. I mean, after all, I sold her on why she should marry me, right? So she believes in...
That was a long time ago, bro. That's 7 years ago.
It is.
Things changed.
No, she believes. Yeah, she believes in this and in me, and you gotta paint the vision, right? You gotta make them understand communication, like you said. You gotta communicate the vision, what this vehicle can do for us.
You don't look like Clay to me. No, he looks like that guy on the comedy show when he comes in like this right here, and he's like. You know what I'm talking about?
They're right next to each other.
I know. That's
Wait, are you talking about Kramer from Seinfeld?
I'm trying to think of that guy's name, but his hair is kind of up like this.
Kramer.
Yeah.
Kramer?
I think he looks like. He does stuff like this right there. You know that guy? I love that guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? What's his name?
That's Kramer.
Kramer. I love it. That's who he reminds me of, Kramer.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, with me, it's a good thing. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I love that guy.
As long as you approve, right?
Yeah, I think he's awesome. All right, so she don't contradict what I'm saying. She'll be like, "Why are you reading so much? What's wrong with you?" Or, "Why are you working so much, trying to get rich? You know, we don't need money. We live on love." Does she do that?
No, she likes money.
I like a high maintenance woman. Like when a guy's married to a girl that likes a lot of money, because that way I'm pushing them and she's pushing them. Now we're pushing together. We're both rowing the boat in the same direction, Okay. All right. So John, can you just give me a text and say, "What's up, Albright?" You know, like, "How you doing?" Or, "This is me." That way I got your text right here, okay? All right.
Sure, I can do that.
Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So, Jake and Bray, of these new people that you're talking to, I would go back to them and I'd say, "Hey, look, let's start all over. First I'd ask them." So like this, like I'm going to ask John to say same way you ask your people. "John, how would you like to just get into this thing and just start making crazy money and get up on stage and get recognized because you're growing and just start getting checks, and we start having to talk about your tax problems you're going to have and stuff like that? How would you like to do that?"
Let's talk.
Okay, I'm not taking that as a yes or a no.
Yes, let's talk. Let's sit down and talk.
Okay, well, I was thinking more about doing than talking.
Oh,
Would you be interested in that?
I would. Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, see how I did that, Jake and Bray? A lot of people just gloss over it and they go, "Okay, let's talk." And then they come back and say, "Yeah, this guy's fired up. He wants to talk about it." You know what? We need to talk about it. We know we know the formula. It'd be like, "Hey, you want to bake a cake? Yeah, let's talk about it." Fine. Well, shouldn't we just get some flour and start the eggs and stuff? Let's just get this thing going. So, okay, John. So let's do this. You've got 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. We need to get more productive with those minutes and seconds. Okay? So, like, what we need to get into, John, if you've texted me, I don't know if you've been able to do it. I don't know if you kind of on a show, you might be kind of tied up and I hadn't been able to do it. But what we're going to try to do is get you more productive with the minutes that you're working. And then we might even nudge up the minutes. Maybe what we do is we pay somebody to do the stuff that's not important, and then you do the stuff that's more important. Okay? So what I would do, Jake and Bray, is I would get all into the nooks and crannies of his life as far as the efficiencies that he's going to do. Now, I got to tell you, I ask a lot more questions than I do doing it myself. Like, I ain't too big into, it's not complicated, but I want him to start telling me what's going on. Like, whatever a person focuses on, that subject is going to improve. It's either going to get bigger, it's going to get smaller. Whatever they focus on and put their time and energy in. For example, if they put their time and energy in this business, it will grow. If they focus on it, it will grow. So if you find somebody that their business is not growing like it is, it's lack of leadership and lack of focus. So like, if I would, like, I put a little bit of focus on my back with that PRP thing, but if I would just focus on it and stop focusing on other stuff and focus on this, it would improve much more dramatically. You say, well, why would you choose not to do that? Well, it's just not been a priority in my life. Like, it's not, I can walk, it's not killing me. So why do I want to make that perfect when I'm working on eating or drinking or going to ball games or building my business? I don't focus on that thing, right? So wait. What a nightmare to me, like how God set this thing up. Like, I would have set it up whole differently, but I'm not in charge of anatomy and people. Like, I'd have it where you just drink and eat all you want. But the way God set it up, you eat and drink too much, you blow up in size, right? Like, you get bigger. But like, if I put Noom on and I read Noom for 15 minutes, or not even 15 minutes, like 7 or 8 minutes, and then I pay attention to what time I eat. Like, don't eat past 7. But if I don't pay attention, I'll be eating 11:30. You see what I'm saying? So it's lack of focus that gets you off track. So if it's the same thing in your business, if you focus on it, it'll grow. Like if you put the minutes and the seconds and the time into it. So April, it's really just a decision. So today is Friday, the 30th, August 30th. So like, how old are you, Aaron Dunleavy? Y'all getting seasick watching him?
33, sorry.
He's 33. Okay, so when are you going to turn 34?
November.
All right, so you practically 34. October, November. So he's 34. He's 34. So in 5 years, he's going to be 39 years old. So if you aren't careful, 5 years go by and nothing's really changed. You know, your back, your hair, your weight, your money, your girlfriend, your mama, your daddy, your doggy, your kitty. If you ain't careful, 5 years, same. So that's not so bad. Well, the problem is you're older. You know what I'm saying? And you're not winning all expense paid trips. You haven't got that gun you've been thinking about getting. Your children are going to go to the wrong university. They're going to not like hanging around you. Like if things are like you didn't change, but the whole world around you is changing, right? So your strength has changed, your mind has changed, but if nothing, but you didn't make something change. There's this law in engineering, it's called entropy. I think that's the word. And anything left to its own devices deteriorates. So like this book will eventually go back to just dust. But if you keep it dusted off and cleaned up and keep it away from bad stuff, it'll stay in a more pristine thing. But this building, if nobody washes and, like, I'm upset about my floor over there. I was screaming like I want the floor fixed. I want to need this done. If somebody doesn't fix it, that's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. So it's kind of the same thing with you. If you don't make it happen, nothing's going to change. So John, how old are you?
46.
46. All right. So Brian Tracy is, he's just a badass, real smart. He says that a pen and paper are the most powerful tools that you can, that you have access to. So what I would do, Dunleavy and John, is when you're 51, John, when's your birthday, John?
April 11.
Okay, so let's go with 46. So when you're 51, the question is, what do you want different? In other words, goals. Yeah, we call it goals, whatever you want to call it. What do you want different 5 years from now? So if you could text me, no, if you would write it on a white sheet of paper, John, what your goals are 5 years from now, and take a picture of that and send it to me. Maybe put 17 or 18 goals, things that you would like to accomplish. And then what we do, so that's the what side of the coin, right? Oh, surprised I don't have 10 coins laying around. Okay. The what side of the coin is this goals. And then what we're going to do is a how-to. Okay? But now, Emily, if you don't, and April and Nicole, if you don't have people that want something different in 5 years, then how the hell are you going to get them to do it? I say if they don't have the WANTTO. If they don't have the want to, what difference does it make about the how to? So you can't get frustrated doing the how to with people that don't want to. because you're just talking to a bobblehead. He's giving you the old yeah, but he's not doing it. So you got to find now. If you, on the other hand, have 30 people and you never do a goal setting session and you don't ask them what their goals are and then you don't scream at them about the how to, then you're the dumb. So maybe 27 are not smart, but the 3 that are smart, you've screwed up by not pouring gas on them and not asking them to do the basics. That's part of the reason I like this business better than like my children. For example, I only have 2. I don't have a choice. But with my business, I get a choice of who I scream at. And when I scream, scream is who I coach. And because whoever I'm coaching is going to do better. But they got to want to. So, John, how are we doing here? Are you on the want to stage? How am I doing on time? Am I over time? I'm right on time.
I'm tracking.
Okay. Are you going to do that? You going to give me the goals?
Absolutely.
Piece of paper. What's your wife's name?
Whitney, like Whitney Houston.
Is that W-H-I-T-N-E-Y?
Correct.
W-H-I-T-N-E-Y, Whitney. All right. So what would be cool is if you could get Whitney to do that. Now, I don't get into that too much because I can't tell my wife what to do. She can't tell her what to do. But you got Whitney. The way you think about writing down your goals, and then if she will, that'd be really cool because then you could marry up the goals. She don't have to, but that'll be cool. So, Jake and Ray, that'd be good for y'all to do. I don't know when the last time you wrote down 5 years from now what we want, but how many years have y'all been with us, Jake?
We're like 5.5 in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next 5, let's do way better. I'm thrilled with what y'all done, the first 5. But next 5, let's see if we can just take the lid off. Because, you're steady growing, but let's just try to take the lid off. Yeah?
Right.
Yes, sir.
You in, Aaron?
Yeah.
Goals?
Yeah.
All right. How to get a person going faster is find somebody that's easier to work with. And you getting skilled at telling if people are good to go or not. Like, it's funny because people that are in sales, like Jake and Bray, y'all would go great at sales. Y'all can tell when a person's you can tell when a person's ready to write a check and buy insurance and you close. Yes. The question is, can you tell when people want to get rich and you close? Can you tell when people want it bad and can you close? Or do you know what to do when they want to get rich? Like what to say to them? Like when they want insurance, you go like, what's your social security number? Like you have go-to lines that you go to. Well, when a person wants to get rich, what's your go-to lines? And are you saying it like if you're trying to get money, if you're trying to get somebody to do insurance that don't want to do insurance, that's a conflict because you're wasting your time. Like you might as well just close the door and move on to somebody that will write a check. Because if you don't, you stay here and waste your time. And a good salesperson knows when to move on. Well, good recruiter knows when to move on too. Like I'm just wasting my time talking to this person. On the other hand, if you know there's a big check in there and you're going to get it, you stay persistent. So if a person that's maybe not doing everything they're supposed to do, but you know there's huge potential in them, then you stay on their butt because you know that they're going to blossom. So it's really you judging whether it's a waste of time or whether, and then the ones that are obvious and they just kill it, you kind of just take credit and go, yeah, I found them. When in fact, all you did is find them. I hope that helps on how to get people started faster.
Yes.
And if you heard how I was nicely brutal about these 8 steps, hopefully I was nice about it. I could be way meaner about it, but if people would listen to this 8 steps part, and you just just get into people's minute details about these 8 steps. That'll help them. You can explode their whole entire business. Okay. All right, guys. I hope this is helpful. Big stuff we got coming up is the boot camp. We're moving more and more tickets to that. I'm also going to be in Dallas September 16th, 17th, 18th, which is a Monday night. I'm going to be doing a kind of a recruiting meeting Monday night. A lot of people just hanging out. You're welcome to hang out with me recruiting. And then Tuesday all day, we're going to do some serious estate planning. We've got great instructors coming in. Belle Krause is coming in, guns a-blazing. But it's really all about is closing and the estate seminars. And then a very, very, I need to warn you, not everybody's going to be invited up to the clubhouse, because there's a lot of people that come to our meetings because they love to come to meetings and they're not really tearing the business up. We love you, but you're not going to get invited up to clubhouse. And it's a decision we'll have to make that not everybody gets invited. Integrity was like, you're going to just not invite some? I was like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. They go, won't they get mad? I go, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They ain't going to clubhouse. And so, but there's a very select few going to get to go up to clubhouse. We're going to tour it. We're going to have a good time up there. And then Wednesday, there's more training. I think we're going to like 2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then I'm jumping in a jet and flying over to Houston, where I'm going to do another recruiting meeting. Am I doing one the next morning, Thursday too, at lunch? So I'm doing it Wednesday night. I'm doing a recruiting in Houston, and then Wednesday at noon, I'm doing a recruiting in Houston. That's the game plan anyway. Like while I'm out there, because I'm trying to find somebody easy that's just going to kill it without us having to beat them over the head. Yeah, that's what I noticed coming up. Anything else coming up in the boot camp? NBC, National Boot Camp. What is it, October 18th, 19th, 20th? Y'all should sign up for that. All right, hope this is helpful. It's good to hang out a little bit. John, get to know you a little bit more. And Jake and Bray, $2 million a month, baby. Let's do it now.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
I don't buy that. Y'all take ownership. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.